To explain this properly, we have to go back to the era of pulps, to the era of gaslighting and funny hats, to the era of Edgar Rice Burroughs and Jules Verne. It is here that we find the roots of what would later become science fiction. Later, we would see H.G. Wells with The War of the Worlds, and many names would follow, from Robert Heinlein to Philip K. Dick, and many more. Throughout the years, sci-fi lost much of its pulp roots, as the slow creep of years morphed this genre into a Goliath that held much beneath its swaying branches. And yea, verily, literary fans rejoiced, for even in the boomer years many a good book was written, and many a good film was made. They were not always the most true to the source material, but they were fine. And then, behold, all rejoice, for soon was to come the era of Star Trek and Star Wars, and behold, there was much spirited debate and rejoicing, for TV had brought a new way to tell these great stories. And then, at the turning of a new millennium, came video games, and we were given stories like Halo, Deus Ex, and Mass Effect. And yea, even unto the present, all of these mediums still have an occasional budding, but the great tree's limbs that have dipped into the realms of film and TV have grown withered, for without them being replenished with new creative ideas, they were cut off from the source of their power. And that is what I will be talking about today. Problem with modern sci-fi is that it has lost the hope and optimism that made this medium great. Sure, we have had a few bangers here or there, like The Martian, which had a massive impact, causing a public surge in interest in outer space and space exploration that had not been seen in years, in a film with an overall positive message. But most modern sci-fi has a very post-modernist attitude. There is nothing inspiring about modern sci-fi. There's no hope of a better future. Rather, the world is this grim, dark setting. Now, grim, dark fits in settings like Warhammer or Battletech, but it does not belong in Star Trek, Star Wars, or just sci-fi in general. It's a niche thing. A niche thing that I love, but it's good because it's niche. It's an acquired taste that not everyone has. And, like any other trope or genre, it gets old fast if it's all you have. The reason Grimdark works in Warhammer or Battletech is because there's more to the setting than just Grimdark. There is also hope, comedy, and heroism, something that Hollywood knows nothing about. Everything isn't shit all the time. There are periods of relative peace and growth before everything goes back to being shit, which is important because if you don't have that in your setting, people get burned out. We need more hopeful sci-fi that doesn't just rip off Dune and Blade Runner. Not everything needs to be the Dark Knight in space. There's a hunger for positive stories that Hollywood just refuses to feed. We need a show or 20 that is more like Star Trek, which has its dark moments to be sure, but the overall theme is one of hope and optimism. Or the original Star Wars with a general message of hope and defiance in the face of overwhelming odds that modern sci-fi just lacks. Anyway, that has been my mad ramblings for today. Tell me what you think down below. This has been Pete the Heretical Nerd. Thank you for watching. Peace.